Hey there everyone, Coach Brandon here today with Zach Fox. He's going to be helping me teach you guys the next topic in our curriculum, which is going to be pulling guard offensively. So far in our curriculum, we've looked at a lot of different takedowns. We looked at arm dominant takedowns, leg dominant takedowns, driving, dragging, we looked at fundamental standing skills. We've looked at countering our opponent's takedowns and rear clinches, and now we're going to get to the last part of the sport, of the art that really remains we haven't talked much about yet, and that's guard pulling. Now, oftentimes, guard pulling is done in a bit of a defeatist fashion. Somebody goes out thinking, oh, I don't know how to take this person down. My takedowns are trash, I'm not good at it. I'm just going to get a grip on this person and sit to my butt so I can be on the floor where I'm comfortable. And, that can work, and it has worked for a lot of people. But the guard pull can be used as an opportunity for an attack. Don't just lazily sit down to your butt and invite your opponent to come into your guard and begin their guard passing game. Take the initiative, get them out of balance, get them defensive, get them responding to you. So the moment you pull guard, you're doing so not in a lazy defeatist fashion, but rather in an aggressive fashion where I'm going to pull guard with the intention of going into a dominant position immediately on this guy and sweeping him within the first few seconds of the fight. That way, we're pulling guard in a way that isn't just lazy and defeatist and not confident, but we're doing it in a confident way where we're still, even though we're pulling guard, we're still taking the fight to them. We're still the aggressor, okay? So we're gonna show a number of ways to do that today. We're gonna show how to do that by getting lower body advantage. We're gonna pull to lower body advantage, things like Ashi-Garami and X-guard and butterfly guard, where we use our leg to get inside and control our opponent's legs. Then we're gonna look the second section of the video, looking at pulling to upper body advantage, where we use our upper body to get inside and dominant position on our opponent's upper body, things like pinch headlocks and shoulder crunches and arm triangles. And then the last section of the video is going to be pulling straight to submissions, because you guys don't just have to pull to positional dominance, you guys can try to pull straight onto limbs, straight onto necks, and go right for the kill immediately. So between those three sections, pulling to lower body dominance, pulling to upper body dominance, and pulling to submission, you're going to have a lot of different ways to pull guard that are going to make you a dangerous standing player. Let's keep going. First, let's talk about pulling to Ashi-Garami, okay? One of the fundamental forms of lower body control. When we're here, he takes a grip on me. If I can, I'd ideally like to be able to separate this grip if possible. Can't always do it, but if I can separate that grip, I'd love to. Okay? In this situation, since we're pulling guard, let's maybe say for Ashi-Garami, let's say I couldn't break the grip. Okay? Let's say I'm trying to pull, his grip is too strong. So I got to work out at mutual grips. So we're going to be working around that. I'm going to be using my mutual grips to try to pull him into the pyramid position, square on to me. So now from here, what I want to do is I want to step inside to the inside ankle line, and then my left leg is going to shoot through his legs at an angle, and I'm going to fall side on to my partner. I'm not going to go straight on. I'm not going to go straight through and fall straight back. I'm going to fall to the side, falling across his ankle line. I take my two knees. Go ahead and let this go. Just posture up so you can see. I take my two knees in around one of his legs here. I can take my leg up to the hip, and I'm going to use my left heel to back heel, climb my hips up to his hips, making a good strong connection with my leg on with my foot here on his secondary leg. And now from here we have all of our Ashi-Garami options. We have single leg sweeps where I push him back onto his heels and I turn out with my knees. Guys, understand that I've gone over all these sweeps during our open guard chapter. And so to save time in this video, and so I'm not talking for hours and hours, I'm not going to go through all the fine details of each and every sweep possibility from each position. I'm going to expect that you remember some of these from when we learned all these positions earlier on in the curriculum. If you don't remember them, that's fine. You can go back into the curriculum playlist and find the appropriate section. You can look up the Ashi-Garami video for open guard. So if you want all the different possibilities of Ashi-Garami, go back to the Ashi-Garami video. For now, I'm going to keep our open guard stuff, relatively basic. This video is mostly about pulling and getting there and dominating with it. So once I pull here, I get to Ashigarami. I can do a single ankle sweep where I put his weight onto his heels first, and then I turn my knees out, get his knee out over his ankle. If he's got too good of balance, he's leaning forward maybe, leaning forward. And so when I try to take him backward, I can't. We can go to a double leg sweep. I drop, I use my butterfly hook to pull his ankle close to me. I score the second ankle and fire back up. And I put him down here. And now we end up in this double seated position. Do you remember from open guard the way to win the battle from double seated position? It's getting this cuff grip. Now when Zach and I both go to hip heist to get up together, I'm going to go to get up, he's going to go to get up. I'm always going to win. And now I can come through, take the leg, and start working the pass. So again, we're gripped up. I'm going to pull him around to a situation where I'm standing on the pyramid position. I step to the inside ankle line. My left leg shoots through. I fall across my training partner just like so. So my side is by his ankle. I don't want to shoot through like so. Not here. I don't want to be square to him. I fall side on. I go up, and then I immediately go in my sweeper position. And remember, from Ashigarami, what if I can't sweep him from Ashigarami? You can always transition to X guard. From here, I take my elbow inside his shin. I drop my Ashigarami, and I pummel my legs through to the X guard position. And now we can work our sweeps from the X guard. We'll come back to X guard in a moment. So one more time on that one. There's his up here, pulling him in. And we have our sweep. Next, let's look at pulling straight to X guard. It can be kind of similar. We grip up. This time, let's say I can break the grip. I dance away, I break. I fix up my power hand. I pull him around, getting his stance square to me. Once I have his stance square to me, it's time to go. Just like I did last time, I'm going to step to the inside ankle line with my right foot. Now, rather than shooting my left foot all the way through and committing to Ashigarami, where I come in and sit through, I'm going to take my left wrist and I'm going to go inside his knee. Now I'm going to knee slide my left knee through as I pull him over me with this power hand grip. I put my butterfly hook right here, and I can start to bump him forward, getting hands to the floor. Now from here, I just pump my left foot into place, and I'm here into the X guard position. Now, let's take a look at that one more time. And then we'll go through some of the options that you have from the X guard. We're going to pull, and then I'll quickly show some X guard options. Zach grips up with me. I break the grip off so he doesn't interfere with my ability to pull myself underneath him very much. I take a grip on the lapel. Now in reality, I'm going to be moving all around the mat, trying to pull him up, trying to get to the perfect position, okay? For now, let's artificially just put him square to me. Once we've landed in the position, I pulled him around and we've landed right here. I step to the inside ankle line. My left hand, my left wrist shoots inside the other knee. So I'm inside this leg with my right foot. I'm inside this other leg with my left wrist. I'm going to shoot my knee through, knee sliding, as I pull him over the top of me. And then from right here, my left leg falls right into position, and now we have an X guard. Rotate. Now from X guard, you have a number of options. Okay, one of the simplest ones that I like is to drop here, catching his knee between my two legs, and we start to extend him out as I start to sit up, propping up to a hand. From here, I hip heist up, and we have a 4-point position here. I pull his knee down to the mat. Now from here, I climb. My right hand goes to the hip, and my left hand goes from the knee to the hip, and we're in a 4-point position. From a 4-point position, we can go through, put in our asymmetrical hooks, and break them down with a powered half. Another option, I pull them in. I pull through my X. Rotate. X guard. I can go do a back trip sweep. Or from here, I take my foot down here to his ankle, and I start to lift everything up off the floor, taking that foot up. I can pass his leg in my right arm. I come up into a double underpass. Let's say I wanted to stretch Zach out because he's pushing back into me off of his left foot. I'd like to try to sit up into him, like that the elevation sweep. Remember the first one where I stood up? Let me stretch out. This one where I stand up. Let's say he's driving into me off that left leg and I can't extend him out. I can take his left foot off the floor with a shoelace breakdown. I go right here, I pick that foot up off the floor, I put his knee down, and now I can start to get up. And I run him down. I come in here, move him around, X guard. I can also go to cuff sweeps. I can get this cuff here, and now I can start to stretch him out, pushing him down over that shoulder and sweep him up as I come up. That's it. I can go with near cuff sweeps, where I get this cuff. Here, I can pass it off to my left hand, getting the collar. My left hand goes right here in the belly. I pick him up and over. I can sweep him up and over that way. Kick over sweeps. A lot of different options you guys have from the X guard. Again, if you want to review some of the options you have from X guard, go back to the X guard video. This is mostly about getting into the X guard, pulling into X guard. Now, we've seen how to pull into Achigurami. We've seen how to pull into X guard. Let's see how to pull into half guard. Another good option. And half guard. Maybe he has a power hand on you. Now in the half guard, you remember we like to have an underhook tight waist. This hand is going to get in my way of getting an underhook. So I'm going to use something that I call a power hand passover. For a power hand passover, I go here to the end of the lever on the arm. I might even go with two hands here. And I'm going to pop this hand up. Keep the grip, and get it over my shoulder. Okay? I know it doesn't look like much, let's rotate. But a difference between here, where his bones are affecting my bones to keep me away, to a situation where I take his hand up over my shoulder. Because now when I start to pull myself into a half guard, watch what's going to happen to this hand. It ends up going to the mat for base. Oh, I like that. Nice. So right here, he's got this power hand. Maybe he's got a bear of a grip and I can't take it off. I can take his hand over my shoulder and I get a grip on the tricep. Now, I'm just going to keep a little tension pulling. If I don't keep tension, he can just bring his hand back. I keep tension, he goes to bring his hand back, and his hand's kind of stuck past me. Okay? So a power hand passover. Very good tool if I want to get his hand out of my way. Power hand passover. I come in, I take my grip on the cuff, I use the heel of my hand to apply upward pressure, and I slip my shoulder underneath the wrist. From here, I go to the elbow, I pull and apply some pressure. He goes to reset that power hand. It's not easy. Now he doesn't have control of the distance like he wants. He has some control of it because he still has the lapel, but not great control. Now from here, I step toward the outside ankle and I'm going to shoot through. I'm shooting in with a reverse daily heel hook. So I shoot into half guard, making an inside hook, and I'm going to try to hook my shoelaces on his thigh as I fall. So I shoot in to here, and I pull his hand to the floor, just like so. Now from here, if I want a half guard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a shoelace breakdown, where I come in, I pummel in front, and I drop into a knee as I take my underhook tight waist. Let's rotate. Now from here, if he keeps his hand on the floor, there's no reason I can't just duck under and take the back. So nobody's going to do that. They're all going to whizzer. But now, once again, I'm relying on you guys to remember some of your options from the half guard. From here, I can come in with my outside hook. I can come in and start taking a scoop grip on this leg. I pull his two knees into one line, and I can pull to get a sweep. You'll notice what happens. As Zach felt himself getting pulled over, what did he do? He based with his right hand, So now I can't roll through sweep, but now I can do a duck under. And now I'm up to the back. And now maybe I break him down with a power half. So once again, pulling into the half guard. There's a lot of ways to finish from half guard. Remember, you have roll through sweeps. If they drive into you, you can roll through. If they're not driving into you, you can wrestle up. You can wrestle, attacking the far leg or hitting a circular finish. Or if you can find a way to get that whizzer out of your way, or find a way to deal with the whizzer, you can take the back. There's also another option where you can dive underneath of them and go into deep half guard. Guys, it's the whole half guard series. Again, I'm not going to take this video to teach you the entire half guard series. If you want to know all your options from there, go back to the half guard videos. This video is about pulling guard in a way that initiates an aggressive attacking half guard game. So again, I'm here. He locks up that power hand. First thing, if I try to pull in and get my underhook at this point, that power hand is going to stop me. So we use a power hand pass over to get it out of our way. I'm here, I come up, I push that hand over my shoulder. Maybe using two hands, maybe I can do it using one. And then I go to the tricep seam, right here, the seam on the back of the tricep, and I start pulling a little bit. He goes to put that power hand in front of me again. It's not easy. Now I shoot into my half guard. I go one, outside ankle line step, I shoot through, making my reverse daily eagle hook as I pull him over me. This hand that's over my shoulder is going to end up going to the floor for base. Here. Let's rotate this butt. Now from here, once I'm through, I'm going to take my left foot, I'm going to make a hook on his foot, and I'm going to do a shoelace breakdown where I take his foot off the floor and I use my right knee to chop and put his knee on the floor. Here. Now he's on his knee. I come up to my underhook, and now we're in an underhook tight waist series. From here, I'm going to put in an outside hook. Zach is going to post out on his left leg. He doesn't want to be taken down, so as I hip heist up, I can't reach the far leg. But from right here, I can do a circular finish, one of my favorites. From here, I take my left foot, let's rotate. I take my left hand right in behind the knee, right here. That immediately weakens his whizzer. He's got a whizzer on. I come down below the butt, and I put my hand right here. It also makes it so when he tries to straighten that knee and stand back up, I have a weight over the back of the knee. I'm keeping his knee bent. My head stays in here, and now I'm going to begin to circle as I pull this ankle to the side. Take him down. Now I can come up, maybe into a smash back position. And I pass the guard. Again, the idea is that we pull this person down into half guard in a way where we can get right into our underhook tight waist, and you are immediately on the offense. We've seen pulling Ashigarami, seen pulling X guard, seen pulling half guard. Now let's pull a straight butterfly guard. So in this situation, what I'm going to do, because we're dealing with the idea of pulling guard, one thing that you might not want to do is come up and just make grips with your opponent. If guard pulling is legal, let's say it's a match is starting, I come up, the moment he gets a grip on me, the very moment, the second, he can sit. And now, it doesn't matter how good I am in the standing position, it doesn't matter all the years and all the hours of hard work I put into my standing skills, I can't use them because the moment he gets a grip on me, it's permissible for him to sit. So sometimes, back up, sometimes guys will play a distance game where nobody really wants to commit to grips because the second anybody makes a grip, even if he makes a grip on me, now I can sit. And I can legally pull guard. So you'll have people who don't want to touch because it's a race to pull guard first. And so you're playing like here. And so what will happen, when I'm here, one grip I can do is I can come in and I can take a really fast grip, either right on the shoulders or double inside bicep ties. And coming in, gripping like so, with no knee grips. Or you can come in and just grab the shoulders. Now the point of this is I'm just going to pull him down, straight down to me. So I come in, I go and I get my grips, and I pull straight down. Okay? Now if he stays on his feet like this is actually pulling into a double back trip, where now he didn't want to be pulled forward, so he starts pulling back. I trip, apply backward push, and he sits in a backward direction. In this situation, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to pull here, and I want to pull him down to his knees. Just like so. Back. So I come in, I get my grips. I don't pull straight down. This leg's a good base of support. I'm going to move myself to the line that perpendicularly bisects his ankles. So I'm standing on the pyramid position. So for the sake of the camera, I want you to face me now, Mr. Fox, where the blade stands. So the spur position is going to be more camera friendly now. So when we're here, and I come and I make my grips, I step here, and I don't sit underneath of them. I don't want to sit into mount. Okay, so I don't sit underneath of them. Rather, I sit in front of him, and I pull him down forward. Like so, and I pull him to a knee. Now from here, I pull him down. If he went up to one knee down, one knee up like this, I control the head here. I control the sleeve here. I'm gonna make a butterfly hook right here. I'm gonna elevate this leg to sweep him this way, sweeping him to the side of the down knee. So I pull, I immediately go here. And we hit an immediate butterfly sweep. Okay, so it's gonna depend on how he lands a little bit. So if we're here again and playing, I come in, and I pull right into a sweep. Other times, he might come down to both knees. Come in, and he just comes in just like so. Another option I have from here is to pull him through, reach over and get a grip on the belt so I control the hips. I'm grabbing his belt here. I grab the cuff and push his hand in. Now I look where I want him to land. I start lifting, heisting him up. He's probably gonna base on his left toes. And then we go through, we take those left toes out of our way using a foot sweep. And we take him down with a hook sweep. So you can pull straight to a butterfly guard. Pull straight to butterfly guard, hit him with a hook sweep. Another option you have is when you try to pull him straight to the butterfly guard, if he pulls back, we look at this. Let's say I come in, I get my grips, I try to pull. He starts to sit back, pull back. He doesn't want to be pulled down into a sweep. So as I try to pull back, I feel him pulling back against me. In a situation like this, I might post a hand on the floor, slide myself in, making two sticky hooks, and apply a backward push on the thighs. Now from right here, we're in a double seated position. Zach went to get up, and I'm going to go to get up. The way that I'm going to win the grip fight, or win the fight for top position, I'm sorry, is to get a cuff grip. Now when we both go to get up, he can't get up. I can take this leg out and work my guard faster. So one more time. We're playing a distance game. We don't want him to grab us because we don't want him to sit the guard. We don't want him to sit the guard before we do. So we get our grips and we go, and he's going to pull back and resist. And we come in. We grab the cuff and we stand up. The last thing I want to talk about in terms of lower body dominance is the idea between dragging and driving takedown options. Most of what we've looked at so far, pulling into Ashigarami, pulling into X guard, pulling into half guard, pulling into hook sweeps. All of these involve us pulling our opponent down so that we get underneath of them and then kind of pulling them forward. So a lot of your opponents, when they've been more skilled, they've been around jiu-jitsu for a while, and they've got people who've been pulling them down into these offensive attacks for years. When someone's pulling on them, you'll have a lot of people who pull backward, who fight away from the guard pull. And then we have options to go in a backward direction. And that's where we can get fake guard pulls coming into play. And that's really nice too. So both fake guard pulls or guard pulling into backward sweeps. So maybe a tripod sweep. Right? Maybe I go in. Maybe I want to go into, let's say an Ashigarami sweep. I go here, I want to go into Ashigarami, I try to go in underneath, and he's pulling backward. I'm trying to pull him forward into Ashigarami, but he's pulling back. Not a big deal. I grab the ankle, foot in the hip, foot behind the knee. And now we take his heel off the floor, and we knock him down to double seated position. I fix up the grip on the cuff. So when he and I both go to get up together, I'm gonna win. All right, so once again, going into the tripod, when I get my grips, I pull him up, going into Ashigarami, he pulls backward. Now maybe I go into a reverse tripod sweep because of how I fell. So we have tripod sweeps this way to take him backward. We have tripod sweeps this way to take him backward. Either one's fine. I'm trying to pull myself into Ashigarami, he pulls back. I knock him down. I immediately get a grip on the cuff. He goes to get up. Even though he had a head start on me, I still won because he couldn't put his foot on the floor. Now let's talk about fake guard pulling. I'm here. Sometimes I go to pull guard. Guard pulling is so common, many of your opponents, especially the lighter weight classes, will expect it. I go to pull guard, I go to sit back, he pulls back and away from me, and as I pull and he sits back, I can change direction. And I can start to come in for other driving takedowns like ankle picks, or single legs or double legs. He takes a grip, I break, I'm here. Now let's say I decide I want to pull into guard, I go to pull, he drops back. I come into my double leg takedown. And I put him down. So that's a lot of great options for pulling guard aggressively and offensively so that we get domination of their lower body. Ashigarami, X guard, butterfly guard, half guard, single legs, double legs, ankle picks. It works. Okay? So that's pulling guard to lower body dominance. Let's go to the second section of this video. Pulling guard to upper body dominance. When I pull guard to upper body, once again, I'm trying to pull him down over me and I want to get his hands to the floor. I essentially want to pull this person into a 4-point position over the top of me. So I want to pull them down. So they get put here, and now we can get all the inside position. We can position ourselves however we want. We can get the dominant positions. The main forms of upper body control we're going to look at today are pinch headlock, shoulder crunch, and arm triangle. And these three work very well together. We're also going to look at an arm bar variation that's closely related to the shoulder crunch. So we'll see the arm bar in there too. But these three main positions work really well together. When you guys get good at hook sweeping and attacking between these three gripping options, between the pinch headlock, the arm triangle, and the shoulder crunch, you're going to have a very strong attacking series that is going to be tough for your opponents to handle. And there's a way to pull guard in a way you can go right into it. So let's take a look. All right, so for example, maybe I'm in here, I come in, I get inside position, I get inside bicep ties on Mr. Fox right here, okay? Now, as I pull in, I step to the inside ankle and I'm gonna square him up to me. Sorry, I'm gonna square him up to the camera so I can talk easily. So I'm standing in the pyramid position, just like so. I step to the inside ankle line, I step in, I pull him right over the top of me, just like so. Okay? Once I'm in here, there's a number of things I can do. I can start to take him out of balance by taking him back and away with my butterfly hook, so now I can go into a number of different good attacking grips. Now from these grips, I can go in and start getting sweeps. So how do we get to these dominant positions? Let's first look at the pinch headlock, and then we'll look at a couple options we can do off of the pinch headlock. We'll start there, okay? So maybe it's a situation where he has a power hand on me, and maybe I go to the old power hand pass over. I put his hand back, I get a grip on the tricep. Now when he goes to try to put a power hand back in front of my shoulder, he can't. I pull him around, I square his stance up to me. Once I have his stance squared, it's time to go. I go inside ankle line, and I'm going to pull him over. Now I don't want to go too deep. I shouldn't say inside ankle line. I guess I'm not stepping that deep. I don't want to pull him so deep over the top that he mounts me or that his head's so far away from me. I want to be directly underneath him. So here I pass over, I'm right here. I step almost to the outside ankle line, I step in and I pull pulling everything up over my head. I continue to pull down on the head until his hands go to the floor. A problem, go back up. A problem that'll happen, some people will stop pulling too soon, or they'll pull and they'll keep their knees away from their chest. So they'll either go here, and be like, oh, it didn't work, because they stopped pulling on the head, or they'll keep pulling, but to keep pulling, they drive their feet into the floor to keep pulling, and they pull this person straight to the down position. So we want to avoid both situations. So we don't want to keep our knees too far away from our chest. We want to keep our knees here, and we want to keep body weight pulling down on the head until hands go to the floor. Once hands go to the floor, now it's time to start lifting their hips, and we can start playing once their hips are up in the air. So we come in, power hand pass over, boom. I square up the stance, now we start to go in. Bring your hands to the floor. Now once the hands are to the floor, I'm ready to start positioning my body. Okay? Let's rotate. I always work the other side. So I'm going to work the other side here. I pull him down over me, just like so. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my two hooks here to take his feet off the floor, and I'm going to stretch him out. And that's going to return him to his knees. So from here, I take my two butterfly hooks, I elevate, and then I stretch, dropping him to his knees. Now, as we do this with our lower body, our arms are pummeling into position on the upper body. So I pull him over me, just like so. Now, for the first one, the pinch headlock, we're going to go around with one arm and the head. Almost like when we catch a triangle with our legs. The head and one arm. So I'm here, I take him up, and I come into my pinch headlock here. I come into my pinch headlock here. Now with a pinch headlock, we want a long arm and a short arm. I don't want to lock directly behind Mr. Fox. I feel like it's easier for him to pull away and for him to make space and pummel in and pummel out. And yeah. So I like to be really deep with one arm. So deep that my shoulder's underneath the armpit over here. Okay? Long arm. My other one comes in, and I make a short arm grip. Now from here, when Zach tries to make that space to pummel in or try to posture up, it's a lot harder. Now you'll notice, if Zach tries to use his secondary hand to free and deal with the pinch headlock like this, he has no base for the right shoulder. So it becomes very easy for me to take my left shoulder to the floor, my left leg tucks underneath my right, left shoulder to the floor, and we can start going in for hook sweeps. Now that's if somebody commits their hands to the pinch headlock. Now most people don't do that entirely. I come here, long arm, short arm. Most people push the hand, but then when that happens, then we can start going back the other way. I use my butterfly hooks to start drawing this person up on top of me, and I can sweep them over the other way.